Mountaineer fans, I have a surprise for you. Well, he's back. Eric's back. We're going to talk. We have a list of items we're going to talk about. We're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to knock off our list, and we're going to talk West Virginia football and maybe a few other things. And here he is. There's Eric. Eric's back. He helped me hold down the fort when I was on vacation, and you know what? We liked him so much we brought him back. Eric, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Shane. Great to be here. Appreciate you letting me back in.
So this is West Virginia Live on the Voice of College Football, and as you can see, we have a new background, and this is the standard all across the Voice of College Football. No matter what channel you're on, you're going to see standardization because, you know, we try to bring quality across the board. Even though I'm not a professional journalist, I am a super fan, and you are not a journalist, but you are a super fan, and you're an alumni, and you live in Morgantown, and you know your college football. So here we are. So first on our list, Eric, is on my list. I have my book here. What do you think of Rich Rod getting a little bit salty? And I couldn't hear all of the video, but it was literally him pacing, just walking, just like coming close to throwing his hat. I don't know what pissed him off, but someone did. Is that a thumbs up, a thumbs down? How does that make you feel?
So I saw this, and it reminded me of his first year here. And I remember ESPN zooming in on him. And I don't think he had quite learned to shield his mouth yet when the camera was on him. Exactly. You gotta shield that mouth. It also reminded me the Pitt game. And not to pick on Neil Brown, but one of the torpedoes that really hit his ship, the Pitt game, 4th and a yard. You have CJ Donaldson's coming out party. He is, and we don't go for it. So you've got a coach who's got some fire. You've got a coach who's aggressive, and you've got a coach who is willing to be aggressive. I don't see how you can be upset with that at this point. Nothing against Neil Brown, but I think everybody it was screaming at the TV that night. Why are you not going for it? Rich is aggressive. Everybody knows this. And, quite honestly, I'm good with it.
If I'm picturing, if you're picturing the type of balls that are between Neil Brown's legs and Rich Rod's legs, I'm picturing loofah sponges for Neil Brown. Rich Rod are those Civil War or World War I saltwater mines that are like in the ocean, like those big things that are just, and when they hit, baby, they're exploding. That's what you're getting. You're getting just better watch out because he's gonna just lose it, and he's just walking along, just looking like. And then I had a picture up, and I took it down. He's just sitting here, and he's just looking like he's gonna lose his. And it's just good to have someone that wants to just jump in that ass and just get after it. And it's just, and you wouldn't think that when you're doing a show, a podcast, you can talk for 10 minutes about just that little bit of attitude and how that translates. And what that does is those kids are talking all through. You know how many times you've heard every kid that comes up to the podium to talk, they talk about running up to the huddle. They talk about practicing with intensity. I mean, I've heard it every practice. I'm sick of hearing about it. But when the game comes and they're and it's 4th and 1, I'm not going to be sick of it, Eric. I'm not going to be sick of it.
Absolutely. If I can jump in with you.
No.
Rich made a comment. He said, they didn't bring me back because of things that I did 20 years ago. And I agree with that to a great extent. However, if you remember back 20 years ago, the Sugar Bowl against Georgia, comment was made, I think it was the end of the first quarter, and we had the ball, quarter ends, our offensive line, the whole offensive unit sprints down the field to go take the line of scrimmage. And the Georgia players were walking. And the commentators made it a point to point that out. That right there is a difference. There's some fight in that dog. Yep. So that's it. You want a coach that's going to let the players know we're not here just to take the field, put on a uniform. We're here to win. And you're getting that with this guy.
And that's a big deal. That's the difference when you see kids that run back, and it's not running back after the first series. It's like it's 3 or 4 o'clock when they've been out there since 7. Is that kid running back, or is this kid maybe on the maybe second or third on the on the depth chart, and he's still giving it? Coaches look at that, and speaking about that, it was brought up today in the presser about what Rich Rod thinks about the fullback position. Is it dead? And I was surprised that he said, "Oh, wait a second. The fullback position is not dead. Tight ends are very important. They just kind of might, not be the same as what they were, but I'll take 100 Owen Schmitz. They might just go out and, line up outside a little bit. They just don't line up outside the tackle every play. But give me a guy that can block." And that was just great. He says a lot. He throws a lot of the same spiel out, but then he sprinkles a different color sprinkle on top, and you got to pick up on that. And that's what I've been picking up on, Eric. Anything that you pick up on when you listen to him? Because I know you listen to him every other day too.
I do. So Neil Brown was really good at answering questions. He got asked a question and he answered that, and I'll give him credit for that. Rich is a master at communications. He says a lot of things to throw people off the track. He's been very honest too when asked about certain questions. He's like, "Well, I can't tell you that. If I tell you that, I'm telling our opponents that." So I think Rich is pretty good at giving misinformation, but I think he also does. I think he also uses the communication. I wouldn't be surprised that we have a power back and Edwards, and he's trying to get eligible. And the NCAA's, hearing a lot of court. Yep, a lot of court cases. Yep. But I wouldn't doubt that we've got some guys that Rich is trying to recruit, and they're probably paying attention to these interviews just like everybody else. And who wouldn't take another Owen Schmidt? How could you not? The guy would just blast people as a blocking fullback. If you handed him the ball, he'd run people over. I mean, how many face masks did he break? And then, ironically,
Right.
He had soft hands for a big dude. He could catch that ball.
He did. And what he said, I listened to an interview Owen had just last week. He said his granddad was a coach, and the first camp he sent him to a lineman's camp. And, he taught him how to block. But those soft hands were fantastic because he learned the fundamentals too. I just hope that Rich Rod's looking and finds some D2 kid that maybe, plays rugby, or maybe he's like a bar back, or somebody that's chewing on a freaking bar stool, or some just maniac. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody, just some animal that's locked up that just is like the typical West Virginia player that just epitomizes this team, and that they can just rubber stamp and everybody can just embrace. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to this season having that type of guy. But the whole thumbnail and the whole basis of this show is ride or die. I think the success of this show, the whole season, is JAHIEM White. And they say that, Rich Rod's going to be more of a passing offense. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But let me talk about JAHIEM White. JAHIEM White is a carryover from last year. And last year he averaged 5.7 yards a carry. Didn't have a whole lot of carries last year. 140 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite 1,000 yards. I mean, he's a great keeper. We're blessed to have him. But last year they had C.J. Donaldson,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now he's the featured back. Will he be able to carry the load, do you think, Eric? Do you think he's going to be able to be the mule?
So again, Rich is the master of, misinformation. Quite honest, I'm surprised the Department of Defense hasn't snatched him up to speak on certain subjects. But I want to go back to Rich's first year, and everybody was, unsure what to expect. We knew we had Avon Coburn though, and I think it was King, his quarterback at Clemson. Was it Clemson or?
I don't know. King was
or was it Tulane?
Tulane.
In any case,
yeah,
you weren't sure what you were going to get. Well, here's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of Avon Coburn's career here at WVU, he ended up, and he still is, the record holder for yardage, over 5,000 yards, over 1,000 attempts, carries, and over, I think it's 120 some games. No, that can't be right. I'm sorry, that's wrong. I think it's 28 games, one with 100 yards in each game. Rich knows when he's got somebody, and he will use that talent until it proves not to be beneficial. That being said, Rich has also said that he's learned if you can spread the load out and do a little load management, although he won't use those words, I don't think that's in his vocabulary. Mm-hmm. He'll rotate people in just to keep fresh legs. But do I think JAHIEM White is going to be our show horse? Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I mentioned last week, and I'm gonna mention it again. I know Rich Rod's concerned that he doesn't have enough backs, and he said this. He doesn't have enough. That room is thin. And he said he has enough receivers. The receiver room he's very happy with. But if he can get a few more backs back there, yeah, just say that 5 times fast. Would Ty Edwards would be
mm-hmm.
like the third down back. He's a big bruising back. That's the guy you need. You don't need another couple small guys, quick twitch guys. You need a bruising back. You need we're talking a fullback type, but you need a blocking back, third down back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think those guys aren't sitting on the shelf in the transfer portal. I really do think that when the decision comes next week, and what I've heard on Kuz's Corner and on Locked On, with Mountaineer Paul, that his show,
mm-hmm.
they've talked with a lawyer, and this guy is from the West Coast, and he gets all sweaty and nerdy about this college football litigation.
Perfect. He's one of us.
And he seems to think that it's going to go in West Virginia's favor. And he also stated, I'm looking at my notes here, that usually in a case where there's multiple folks listed on the docket, they just check the block. Everybody gets it, like Oprah. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Getting Jamori Robinson and getting Ty Edwards, that would be an early Christmas gift, and that would be over big.
Absolutely. Like Bob Huggins used to say, there's the game, and then there's the game behind the game. And I think that there's a game behind the game being played now, and I think it's very shrewd on our part to take this to court at a time when the courts are being overrun. They don't have the time to sit there and argue and try to belabor. They're going to sit there and try to do damage control. And that means if it's the kind of thing that, look, just let this kid play another year. What do we care? Unless it's going to be something's going to blow up in our face, just let him go. And that's what they did. And I think that was brilliant. I also think Rich has a lot of support from people who are going to help with NIL. And I think that's critical. We'll talk about that more later with the topics you've got. But the notion that we're thin on running backs, we have a good stable. It's a matter of how much we can keep people healthy. I know that our projected second string running back came here dinged up to begin with.
Right.
And so they're worried about him. And then Rich did make the comment that, we only had 2 running backs, I think out of 5, maybe 6, that finished the practice without taking, a medical break.
Yeah, and then I just like when I messaged you, I was just getting cleaned up from doing some yard work and stuff, and I lost my train of thought for the whole show because I saw a meme of basically a baby Rich Rod, an AI baby Rich Rod, talking about an ice cream machine. So all my preparation for the show just went to shit, and I forgot about everything I was going to say because of baby Rich Rod. So thank you, baby Rich Rod. Whoever created Rich Rod, you're going to go to Mountaineer hell.
Well, that is pretty epic. That's legendary stuff right there. So it's totally understandable if that made you lose track.
Oh my God, just it's fantastic. I love it. So Rich Rod said another thing. Talk about this is the show. Talk about what Rich Rod said. Okay, Rich Rod said this is the first time he's had 5 quarterbacks that can throw. And I just watched last week. I rewatched the 4th quarter of the famous Bernardic getting hurt with 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in the 4th quarter, and Pat White coming in. And Bernardic could run. He could run the ball pretty good for a big dude. So
he was, yeah.
I didn't remember. I didn't remember him running as good as he did. So,
he was a punishing runner. I think that's actually what kind of got him hurt.
That's just it. What got him hurt was he got sacked. There was it was a draw play, a play action to Steve Slayton. They didn't bite on it. He got slobbered.
Yep.
But so anyways, he said 5 guys can sling the ball and can make the passes needed for most of these plays that he has in this playbook. That's never been the case. Usually he has to take 1 or 2 out, but I'm really surprised with that.
Why is that?
Well, usually have one guy that can't make a throw, just like anything, you fish, there's certain casts you can't make, I don't use, I can't use a bait caster. Never done it. I don't want to do it. I can fly fish, I can do these type of things, but I don't know.
Well, let's just be clear. If it comes to fishing, I do it all, man. I am the journeyman. That's me. But no, I'm kidding. All kidding aside, yeah, I get where you're coming from, but you got to remember too, Rich has picked. I shouldn't say Rich shouldn't, but I guess he's the face of the program, so why not? He's got a lot of guys who are coming in here from smaller programs, so they're coming in here experienced. Yeah. They've seen a lot of things. They haven't sat on the sideline, and we all know how this works. If you are the starting player where you are, you're getting the vast majority of the reps. So these guys are coming in pretty well seasoned. The other thing, too, is really nice. Most of them are left-handed.
That's interesting because guess what I also just recalled?
What's that?
And Dan Moses were both lefties.
Yep.
That was the first time I ever recall a center and a quarterback both being lefties. Now we have 2 left-handed gunslingers, on the same team. That's a lot of lefties. So that's kind of neat for a playbook to have, a quarterback with two lefties, and it's the guys that are on top of the depth chart. But Scotty Fox can throw the ball, so I'm pretty excited. The thing of it is, though, these guys aren't going to be around long enough. Like Scotty Fox, he might not stick around long enough for us to see him. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we're going to ever see Scotty Fox?
I hope so. Well, see, the thing is, I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to cut you off. What are you going to say?
We're going to see him.
So I think I think at least one of the quarterbacks is going to get the playing time. He's only got 1 year. Now, Markio, I believe, has 2 years left. Is that right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So Scotty Fox has a real good chance to compete, for that backup position.
Yeah.
So I think there's a real good chance we'll get to see him.
No, Rich Rod said a couple weeks ago, I will play if there might be a record for me to break where I play as many players as I can. And that makes sense. He was joking. He's like, what are you going to just redshirt a guy so some other coach can play him?
Exactly.
It's like that guy that saves that G.I. Joe figure so some other guy in 20 years can play with it, Are you gonna,
take it out of the box?
Run it like you rented it, like enjoy it. So get these kids out, take the plastic off, run the wheels off them. That's what I say.
I got to agree with you, buddy. Why would you hold out? Because especially they want playing time too. I mean, all money aside, they're hoping to get, most of these kids would love to get a shot at the next level, even if it means a different position. Look at our buddy Green. So they just want to get on the field. And so Rich said, as long as they're good enough to win with, why would you not play? I think he threw out a number of 80, which is optimistic, but why would you not want to increase your depth? Because also, even if you can't give a kid more money, if you can give a kid more playing time, that's going to be incentive to stay.
Yeah, because it gives them more video. And then maybe they can go to another program and get more money. Because the perfect example of that is C.J. Donaldson. Like he was able to cash his check and go to Ohio State, and good for him. But we don't want to see that as Mountaineer fans. We want the Mountaineers to have a big enough purse to pay him enough for him to stay. But I'm going to go call an audible. This isn't on the call sheet. Conference realignment comes back up again. Every week, I think that can's getting kicked down the road. Every week it comes back up. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts? And once again, the Miami question. As a Mountaineer fan, do you think Miami is overrated or underrated? Would you want them in the Big 12 or not, Eric?
Oh, why would you not? I can't think of a single reason why you wouldn't. They're ranked number 10 to start the season.
I agree. And people, I don't know what the hell these freaking people that do podcasts are thinking. It was they're like the original villains. If it's WWE from the 90s, it's Razor Ramon in a freaking in a college uniform.
Absolutely. They're a great replacement for your Texas or your Oklahoma, the team that you love to hate. And quite honestly, they've got the success to go with it. They've got lots of alumni who have connections in the NFL who would be bringing that NFL money back into their program. This is a no-brainer. Yeah, you definitely want them in.
And it is like they're like the most comfortable air mattress. Like it inflates instantly because when they're good, they get money quick. The sponsors, the donors, the town, just instantly, it's hot. You have celebrities. Everybody wants to be part of the Miami program. It's fleeting, it goes away as quick as it comes when they're bad. But when it's good, it's good. It's like a gold rush town. And Shane from 1993 that watched the Mountaineers beat Miami maybe has a little bit of a bias, but that's the same Shane that saw them get curb stomped year in and year out from 1992 until 2002. And 2002, they were a juggernaut.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's a program that has resources. They have the ability to draw talent. A lot of what will decide their fate is if they have a coaching staff that can provide the structure to get that talent disciplined enough to put it on the field. And I think especially in today's new environment, the notion is, fellas, you don't have to go to the NFL. You can make a pretty good check here if you play well enough. And if you don't, there's other guys that love to play here and we can pay them. And I think that kind of message, I think Miami would like that, in that there's no more prima donnas, and I'm not saying they've been full of them, but I think it's easy to go to a program like that and be a 5-star, and you can go there and you'll have a home there. The problem is there's a lot of 5-stars now that they would like to take your place, and with the ability with the transfer portal, they're breathing down your neck. So you got to have some discipline.
Mm-hmm. And the Dolphins used to be the second team in Miami. Yeah, I said it. They were the second team. You went to a club in Miami, and you were a Hurricane. You got through the red rope quicker than some of the Dolphin players. That's a fact. You just don't. I'm not making that shit up. But
oh no, and I think just one last thing, real quickly. I mean, I'm not necessarily a fan of this, but it's just the reality of the environment. We are entering into a time period of the NCAA where resources will definitely they will have a strong influence on your performance. And if you can have in the top quarter of the conference, you can have your NIL money in that area, you're going to be competitive. Miami can definitely do that. They would come in, they would raise the quality of the product. They're going to, like you said, they're going to be the black hat wearing villain, and they're going to wear the mustache. And why would you not want them in there?
Guys, it's gonna
plus the TV market.
That's the ticket that you want to have. You want to watch, whether you're watching your team get their ass kicked or because that's the game you want your team to be competitive or win. That is the litmus test where you're like, if we can be competitive, we're going to be a good team. That's terrible to say, but now in today's day and age, the Mountaineers aren't the team that they were 30 or 40 years ago, since Rich Rod made this team more relevant since the 05, 06, 07 seasons. But with Neil Brown, kind of ran into the ground, we got the buffer out, we got the sander out, we're taking the dents out. It's this like pimp my ride college football program. But you said that you mentioned this about the good old quarterback from last year, Gigi, got a little playing time as a wide receiver. And we talked about this before the show for a second. What do you think if Neil Brown, let's shit on Neil Brown. This is the segment called Shit on Neil Brown. What if Neil Brown would let Nico play quarterback last year and move Gigi to receiver? Wow. That would have been something.
Well, we talk about, and you don't have to lie to the viewers. I mean, it's okay for them to know that we rehearse this for hours beforehand. Neil in my opinion, was a Moneyball kind of coach. Very much about numbers, very much about statistics. He wanted to play football like it was a chess game. And okay, that is a way to play it. And there are plenty of programs that have success like that. Now, I don't know that I want to watch that brand of football. I like a coach that's willing to take a little bit of chances here and there to try to, win the game, to take advantage of opportunities you might have that will give you the edge. That being said, I think we needed an extra receiver last year. I think Nico proved that he could win big games, not just games. He could win big games. He won against Pitt, won against Oklahoma State. The guy can throw the ball. Hell, he came in here as a freshman, seasoned, in my opinion, as far as his poise and his intelligence. The guy's a winner. I would have loved to have seen that. Shane, I mean, how many games do you think we could have won if we would have done that?
I mean, I'm like 1.5. Like if you're like giving, like if you're doing like one of those average things, like 1.5, like that nudge, like maybe. Oh man, just think of it. Like, well, here's the thing: Neil Brown probably still would have been here.
That is very true. I think 1.5 is fair too, buddy.
Neil Brown would still be here. Neil Brown would still be here if that would have happened. Wow. Yeah, man, my head just almost exploded. That's crazy. Let's there's a couple more things I want to talk about alumni.
Mm-hmm.
Greer is still playing quarterback in the NFL. I didn't know that until I was flipping through some highlights, and guess what? I saw him running for his life with a Cowboys uniform on, and Skip Bayless is giving him the old golf clap. So Skip Bayless shits on everybody, but he likes Will Greer. That's fantastic. I love Will Greer.
How could you not? I'd like to see Will come back. I'm not sure why he hasn't come back, but the thing that was most amazing about that run, Shane, he got back up from that run and his fingers were all pointing in the right direction.
He did. I think Will Greer still has a couple years of eligibility because of COVID. I mean, there's guys playing their same age as Will Greer. He was what? He graduated 2019. Don't get me started on that NIL stuff. With the way, if these courts, I want the courts to rule in the favor of Ty Edwards, right? I want Jamori Robson to I want him to play ball. But the old school fuddy-duddy is like, what do I want a 30-year-old playing college football?
I'm going to tell you right now, for years, and this goes back to the mid 2000s. I was an advocate for the franchise player, that you should be able to have a certain number of players in your team that they didn't just get the normal amount of eligibility. They should probably get 6 to 7 years. And the reason I said that is because if someone's going to go in and get your undergrad, okay, that's 4 years, and let's say you're going to get a master's, that's another 2 years. Why? And even if it's not just another master's, at least another degree. Why would you not afford somebody? Because not everybody's cut out to play at the next level. Yeah. Why not give a select few that opportunity?
Yeah, lining up at the slot is a postdoctorate candidate, is doctoral candidate. I don't know, guys. I just I don't want to see someone with a receding hairline at middle linebacker. Look like.
Do you know how many NIL deals we could get from Geritol? Maybe a few walkers. Come on, man. Orthopedic support hose. We could. This could open up all sorts of avenues for revenue.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Well, so I am so excited you came on. I just, my kid came home from practice. They plays varsity football, and he had enough energy from 7 to 5:30 they play to throw a football at a paper wasp nest from a tree. I'm just like, okay, that's what I was dealing with when I called you. But
Bonnie, I'm thrilled you invited me back. I got to talk with you about your life decisions, though. But I appreciate you letting me back in.
Well, to close the show, I want to ask you. This is a heated question. I hope some people stick around for this. If Rich Rod, they say hold the rope. How much rope does what's the patience level for Rich Rod if he has, like, say he has 7 wins this year, 7 wins next year, and 7 wins year 3? What's the patience level? Is it more because he's little gray in the beard this time around, or do we have less patience because of the shenanigans from the first time? I don't know. I think the pitchforks start coming out year 2, 3. If it doesn't, I don't think he has a very long rope.
Really?
I don't think so. I think the people that were butthurt about him leaving in 07, which I was one of them, might start to get boo-boo kitty feelings. Start a little get of sand in the crack of their ass. About year 2, if they have a losing season in year 2 and things aren't looking good, I don't know. I think the Villagers are going to get the pitchforks out. I say that now, and we haven't even played a game. But I was wondering that. and I wanted to share that with the community. And in the chat, let me know. What do you think? Are the people going to have more patience with Rich Rod? Are they going to give? Because we gave Neil Brown, who's not one of us, more grace than we probably should have. Are we going to give that grace to one of our own? We should. We gave him a second chance. We should maybe give him the rope. Hold the rope. I don't really understand what that means. It's a great thing. I guess there's a rope on the thing and they're supposed to hold it for their buddy. What, do they fall off a cliff?
Nah, that's tug of war. It's all about tug of war.
What's he recruiting? Mary Ingalls? What's this Little House on the Prairie that falls on a wall or some shit? I don't know. But I'm just saying, hold the rope. Let's give Rich Rod some grace. Give him be patient with him, because I'm telling you this. There's a handful of guys that are back, whether it being a Mountaineer from last year or being from his Jacksonville State program. They're all learning the language. They're learning the culture. They're learning a new town, or maybe all three. Okay. And even if they're just maybe learning 2 of the 3, the Big 12 year in and year out is different, because guess what? And I want to share this with you, Eric, and think about this. And I want to hear your take on this. Years ago, you could look at tape of a program and like, oh, Nebraska has these 3 nasty linemen coming back. They have this quarterback coming back. They have this receiver coming back. That's not the case anymore. You can't just roll tape and see 6 guys that you're going to be seeing next year. You got to pull tape from 5 different schools and mix and match and have a crew sit there and just, it's exhausting. You have to have a staff just to figure out who's going to be, you're going to be maybe seeing. Then you have to figure out, oh, well, they were playing this scheme or that. I don't know how they game plan or war game this. You might as well just grab Magic 8 Ball like Joey and I did. And I just talked to Joey the other day. He's going to come up to a football game. Remember Joey?
Oh, yeah.
Joey Foster. So just grab the Magic 8 Ball. Because you know what, Eric? Last year, the Magic 8 Ball picked Arizona State to win the Big 12. And we thought, there's no way in hell that's going to happen.
I actually remember that.
He was right.
Joey, and props to Joey, did a lot for this show.
Yeah, he did.
Nothing can't be said.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you think, Eric? Do you think it's more work now to pull tape on players and to prep for teams that you're going to see? I mean, I think it is. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it.
So I got a lot of thoughts on this if you're ready.
Let's hit it. We got 20 minutes.
Okay. So Rich has always been known for bringing in kids, and then I shouldn't call them kids, but I'm old enough, I guess, to me they're kids. And whether they're a 1-star or a 5-star, he coaches them up. And that was always the take. And I have to agree with that. Owen Schmidt, no one even knew that. Maryland told him to hit the bricks. Mm-hmm. Told him they loved him, but we got no place for you. Same with Steve Slayton.
Yep.
Pat White, we love you, man, but you're not going to get a shot here at quarterback at LSU.
Yeah.
it's all about finding the right kid for the right system. And I think Rich has always had a knack for that, and he's always had a knack for finding the coaches who can do that as well. I think that's why the 3-3-5 defenses were always so, I don't want to say popular, why they worked so well.
Mhm.
We found a defense that brought a lot of challenge to opposing teams that we could recruit for. So that's one reason why I think you give Rich more grace. Rich's understanding of the game is at a higher level so that he doesn't have to out Alabama. That's critical. And there aren't a whole lot of coaches who can do that. The other thing, Rich has a high level of support that's critical in this day and age. You've got to have the resources so that you can bring the right kids. And quite honestly, if the kids they brought in, they are still doing that great job of bringing in the right players for their system. Because not everybody's going to fit in every school. You got to have the right player in the right system. So there you go. So you got a coach with great understanding and knows how to find the right kid for his system. You've got a guy who has the support and the resources to get those kids. And the difference I'm already seeing, I mean, Rich is playing the communications card, but I think he's a lot deeper now than his first stint here.
He's slicker.
I know that
he's a lot.
Yeah, well, definitely. The last thing, look at Rich's coaching success. If you look at his record, he has won everywhere he's been. And usually it's
the outlier Michigan where he should have won. You know, he should have won in Michigan, but he wins at Arizona. He wins at Jacksonville State. I mean, it's just amazing. He is a good coach, Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah, regardless of what your feelings are, if you still have a little bit chafing from his departure last time, I get it. I understand. Had to, have a few counseling sessions with friends over that. But the guy knows football, and he not only knows football, he knows novel football coach strategies, and that's hard to adjust. Even if you are in Miami, which you're not going to out Miami. I'm already going to act like they're in, because if they don't come in the Big 12, I'm going to call up the Big 12 office myself and have a conversation. But you're not going to out Miami. However, if you bring to the table a different system, something that's hard to prepare for, and you've got the right talent, that was the thing that during that time span, that was a high watermark for WVU athletics, at least for men's basketball, for the football program. We had coaching strategies that people had difficulty preparing for. So you loved watching John Beilein's 1-3-1. You loved watching his offense, and don't you dare call it a Princeton offense. It may have had its roots in Princeton's offense, but it definitely wasn't.
Bob Huggins,
I think we got that now.
The year he came in, he's like, show me what you're doing. I mean, it's just, and then it's one of those things. It's a West Virginiaism, because you can't recruit the big, huge guys, but you might be able to get a fast, lean, quick twitch guy. And you just have to adapt. And that's one of the things that makes these type of coaches successful. And he said it today. He's like, I might not be able to do that based off of the guys we have. We have to understand what they can do. And he talked about that with the 5 guys that can throw all of the passes we want them to pass to, all the plays. I don't know how he phrased it, but basically they can pass to the scheme. They can make all those plays. That's a rarity. But he said that, some of these guys are not quite as fast as like a Pat White, but they all can run, and Pat White's a freak, but and he had Denard Robson at he had him, where did he have him
at?
Michigan.
Yep.
He had King at maybe it was at Tulane. He's always had some fast guys,
Mm-hmm.
He had Brown at West Virginia. He's always had some fast guys that could run, and that seems to follow him wherever he goes. But I think he's gonna. I think Mountaineer Paul seems to be snooping in my emails or my book. I think he comes there because I was going to talk about it today. I'm like, I can't do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about it. Jalen Henderson's going to play some ball. Okay. Nico,
no doubt.
They're both big dudes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to just, you're going to work the mule that pulls, and both those mules can pull. And that kid is slippery and big, and you're not going to tell me you're not going to put him in on a goal line, and you're not, and slick old Rich Rod's not going to use him in some trickery. Why not? I would.
I got no problem with both of them playing, Shane.
Because here's the thing, and this sounds it's going to come across shitty, but let it come across shitty. These kids you're not going to have them for 4 years. You're going to have them a year, maybe 2 years. So he said this. He said, we're not redshirting them. So you're going to use them. He's going to use these kids. He basically said he's going to run the wheels off these kids. He's going to play everybody. So he said it, not me. He's going to work these kids. And he wants these kids to have that hard edge. He wants to run them hard. He did say he's going to throw the ball a lot. They've said it on all the other podcasts, but it comes down to JAHIEM White. Comes down to that running game, because they can't sling it a lick if they can't run that ball. And that's the problem, years past. Now, they've been successful because they had C.J. Donaldson. And that's the only reason they won a few games these past couple years, because the defense has been pile of dog shit, hot steaming dog shit. Now, the defense, Eric, do you think the defense is going to be stingy since we got that new, handsome, good-looking guy? He looks like he should have just, if he gets kicked out of coaching, he should open an OnlyFans. This guy, Zach Alley, what a handsome man.
So I don't know that I go that far, but sure, why not? I think he's going to get his own NIL from Daniels. Fine Looking Phil's going to hook him up.
Fine Looking Phil, hook him up.
But I think, in all sincerity, so I think you got to give Rich. I'm going to go 5 years, because I think look, this guy, he's going to win, and I don't think it's going to take that long. But I think you got to give him at least 5 years, which I know a lot of people are probably screaming, because anymore now the standard is 3. Now Rich is going to win.
Yeah.
The defense, Zach is going to bring. There's going to be a feel of the 3-3-5 in that you're going to have a lot of pressure coming from places you don't expect. Because not only, Zach is constantly working on different blitz packages, and he's very open about it. He will blitz all over the place. And that was the one thing that before Jeff couldn't quite do that, because he didn't have the depth. I think Zach's going to have better depth. And by the way, Jeff is on the defensive coaching staff.
They got Castile. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's like a family reunion, but you can tell stories about the old characters, like, oh yeah, and you got the cast of new characters. It's just great. I love it.
It may be a dysfunctional family, but we're going to put the fun in dysfunctional.
Yeah, that's good. Man. So I'm excited you came on. This has been a great show. I'm glad.
Man, thanks. It's been great talking with you here.
Well, we are literally weeks away. So what are we down to? Like 20 days in a wake up, or like what, 20 days? I lost my ticker that shows up on
20 days in the hangover. Yeah.
The hangover. So what is your routine for if you're going to the game? What do you usually do if it's for a 2:00 game?
2:00 game, we'll usually start off early. You got to be there for breakfast. Mm-hmm. You're there, doing the hash browns. You're there with the scrambled eggs, the bacon. You got to have the biscuits, because you really can't do the Tudor's biscuit on game day. It's just too long of a line, but you can simulate that goodness. But yeah, that's usually how we're starting off. And how about you?
I usually get up and drive down. I try to be over at the Coliseum. I usually park over there about 8:30, and I walk over and hit the blue lot. Get over there. I'm probably over there by 9. Make my rounds.
Good deal.
I meander. I float. I'm like the tailgating butterfly.
I can see that you are the social butterfly, buddy.
I always end up over at the light blue lot at the end because that's where my buddy's at, and also it has a bathroom, so you can go over to the practice facility and take a leak, and then kind of my seats are over on that corner, so that works out perfectly.
You can be there with the franchise football players who they'll. It's important for them to be near a restroom too.
Yeah. So then also the band comes in over there, tailgating butterfly. Yeah. Well, Afton laughs at me because on the Steelers show I say yinsgasm because they do the yinzers. They do things, and it's like, oh, that's weird, So anyways, so Thursday we have the live call-in show. So guys, if you have a question or want to talk about anything that's bothering you, call in and we'll make fun of you. No, I'm seriously. Call in and we'll try to talk about it. But on Mondays, I'm trying to get Eric to join me most Mondays if he is available. And yeah, Afton's right. Yeah, it's the hashtag. Yeah, that's right. But so this is the Voice of College Football, the West Virginia Live channel. We're going to be here every Monday at 9 p.m. sharp. On Thursdays, the show's at 8 p.m. so that you can catch us. If you've missed us, you can catch us on YouTube. Guys, I appreciate you checking us out. And, hey, take care and have a great Mountaineer Day. Eric, thanks again for popping in.
Absolutely. Absolutely, buddy. I'll see y'all.